Back with Marty Biron. Marty, the Craig Berube era officially begins tomorrow. It didn't take long for the Leafs to land on Berube, only 8 days after firing Sheldon Keefe. The big question, do you think he's the right choice for this team?
I think that's the right choice. It's instant credibility, right? The fact that Craig Berube has won a Stanley Cup. There's not a lot of cup-winning coaches out there, right? The last three are all being, coaching right now in the National Hockey League. And you look at Barry Trotz, well, he's a GM, and where are you going to go? Daryl Sutter? You're looking at a long time down the road. So I think that brings Berube right to the top of the list. He's won a Stanley Cup, and he knows how to manage a team to be able to have success in the playoffs. And that's the one thing that the Toronto Maple Leafs definitely need. So when you look at Berube, no nonsense, right? Everything is up there. He coaches like he plays. You know what you're getting from him. So I really feel like it's an opposite kind of coach that Sheldon Keefe was, and a lot of teams do that. They have success with a coach, but they make a change. They go in the opposite direction. You got to give a little bit of an electroshock to the locker room, but I definitely think that the instant credibility makes Craig Berube the right choice to coach the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Now, Marty, you played for several different coaches with varying personalities. How much difference is there between a player's coach and one like Berube that's more well-known for holding players accountable?
Well, it's all about communication, right? You can be hard on players, but you have to communicate. Now, in my career, I really had 4 coaches, right? I'm not going to think of the last month of my career with Alain Vigneault. I really didn't play for him all that much. But I had Lindy Ruff, I had John Stevens, Scott Gordon, and John Tortorella. And really the two that stand out for me is Lindy Ruff and John Tortorella. Why? Because they were tough. They were hard. They demanded a lot. They put a lot of systems in place, right? And you had to really think it through. And practices were really tough. So for me, that's what I like. Not everybody's built like me. Not everybody likes that. But I really feel that that's the type of coach that I responded better than a lot of players responds better to, especially in the short term. Now, everybody's got to adjust. Everybody's got to adapt. And the communication, you can be a hard coach, but still communicate and be able to put your message across in a right way. So for me, that's what Craig Berube is. I actually had Craig Berube as an assistant coach with the Flyers, and I love talking to him about the game, and I think that's why he's been so successful. He can be tough, he's fair, and he communicates well.
And sometimes a different message is a good message to the players. Now, Marty, do you think Berube's hiring makes it more likely the Leafs make major changes to the roster?
Well, I obviously think there's going to be conversations because last season, a new GM comes in, he says, hey, I'm going to keep the roster in place, especially when it comes to big core 4, and let's see what happens. Now you make a coach change. I really feel like for Brett Treliving and Brendan Shanahan, it's going to be hard to make roster changes this summer looking ahead to next year. We all know the Mitch Marner, no movement clause, John Tavares, the same thing. I think it's going to be tough to make the big changes at the top. And bringing in a new coach, I'd like to see what Craig Berube can do with this core 4 and the rest of the players that you come in. So I think there's going to be roster changes. Obviously, they need to round up their roster and make it more with the depth. But I don't think it's going to be at the top. I think you got to give Berube a chance to be able to see how he can manage the top players and what kind of results he's going to get. And ultimately, those results have to happen in the playoffs as well.
Well, we're 6 weeks away from free agent frenzy. Berube and the Leafs will need to make some quick decisions. They have 10 pending UFAs and 4 more RFAs, as well as some very tough decisions looming with the core 4.